Hello everybody, I'm Stefano. Today we have a pattern Photoshop tutorial. A well-done pattern can be handy. It can be applied to any background, on a website, a poster, a fabric, rather than packaging. This short tutorial will show you how to make patterns in Photoshop, starting from a drawing or an icon. To create patterns in Photoshop, you can start from different elements, from an icon, a digital drawing, or the scan of one made on paper, in the old way in pastel or watercolor. Before starting, however, I would like to remind you that Photoshop is not a vector program, therefore the patterns created with this software, starting from an image, always remain raster. Let's start creating a pattern with Photoshop. So step 1, create the base of your matrix. So the first step is to create a new file by going to File, New, and entering the dimensions. It can be any size. The important thing is that the width and the height are the same. In our case, the board measures 256 pixels for each side. This is your workspace, which will become your saved pattern template at the end of the tutorial. For this reason, it is good to choose sizes that are not too big. In any case, if you change your mind later, you can constantly update the size of the table from the top menu, Edit Image Size. Step 2, define the motif of your pattern. At this point, you need to enter the graphic motif you have chosen to use. We have used a series of small drawings already created digitally, but you want to use a picture on paper instead. The first thing to do is perform a scan or a high-resolution photo. Once this is done, it is necessary to clean the image by isolating the objects on the drawing and uniforming the background in a single color. It can be white or colored according to the result you want to obtain, or it can have no background and therefore be transparent to use in PNG on any colored surface. To clean the background and bring it to a uniform white, you can use the Image Tonal Values command. This will also affect the picture and help you slightly correct it. Beware, this last step is to be skipped if you use shapes created directly in Photoshop or vector objects created with Illustrator or downloaded from Google. Step 3. Set up your template. To create a seamless pattern and then make your image a repeatable way, you need to work a little on the board's edges to make the top side the same as the bottom and the left side same as the right. By doing this, your pattern can be placed side by side without seeing any detachment and used as a continuous filling on surfaces of varying sizes. To do this, you must use the Photoshop command filter Other Offset, which allows you to translate the image horizontally and/or vertically. The program automatically cuts the table's content in half and moves it horizontally and/or vertically. It is essential to move the image by one measure to make the edges of the basic model coincide correctly. The measure must be equivalent to that of the table, divided by 2. For example, in our case, the table measures 256 pixels, so we set a displacement of 128 pixels. You can decide whether to move only horizontally or even vertically. Thanks to this tool, the sides will coincide without problems as the image is automatically cut from its center. Beware, before using the Move command, if the various elements of your model were on several separate layers, it is necessary to merge them into a single layer, selecting them by holding down Shift and then clicking with the right button, Merge Layers. Otherwise, the command will not work correctly. Step 4. Define your pattern. Great, now your image is ready to be transformed into a repeatable form. To do this, go to Edit, Define Pattern. In doing so, your pattern is created. At this point, a window will open asking you to assign them a name. Remember, naming the elements according to a criterion will allow you to find them more easily later on. Step 5. Apply and use your pattern. Well, now that you've made your pattern, you have to try using it. To do this, open a new file by clicking on File, New. Remember though, to see the final result, it will help if you create a larger board than your pattern table. Our table, for example, measures 1200 per 800 pixels. At this point, there are several ways to apply it. From Edit, Fill, Content, Pattern, then go and choose the one you made. Or double-click on the main level, the Layer Style Pattern Overlay panel opens. You can select your pattern. With the Paint Bucket tool side toolbar, it is possible to choose the pattern mode with a drop-down menu and select the desired one from the top bar. By clicking on a point on the table, it is applied. The pattern can also be used through the Pattern Stamp tool. You can always find it in the sidebar of the tools under the Clone Stamp. The difference from the previous methods is that in this case, the entire table is not filled, but you can choose where to apply it, just as if you were using a brush or a stamp. That's it. In just a few steps, we have seen how to make patterns in Photoshop to be used in your graphic projects. Now you can have fun customizing your patterns. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to subscribe to this channel so that you will see more videos about graphic design, packaging. I'm Stefano, and as always, love you all. Ciao!